Wednesday, we received a bill, and 10 minutes after we received the bill, they expected us to vote on it. So we already know that it took us many years to pass Medicaid in North Carolina. And we finally passed it because we're getting money, 90% from the federal government. Well, now that there's been a cut in the amount that we get, we had to make sure that we are covering a certain amount in order to ensure that everybody is able to continue with their Medicaid. If not, we're going to be cutting over 700,000 people in the state of North Carolina. About 68,000 in Pitt County, about 49,000 in Edgecombe. Only 20 minutes to look at the bill, and they gave it to us in a conference report. And when I say they gave it to us, the Republicans, the leadership, the ones who decided to finally give us something, but this is just the Medicaid portion. We still don't have a budget, but they gave it to us in a conference report. Why is that key? Well, you can't add amendments or give any amendments to a conference report. A conference report, you either voted up or down. That's it. What we did get to read within the 20 minutes of us receiving it, we had some poison pills in there. One of the things I think about is you have to have that work requirement that they added. Okay, no problem with that. Federal level, you need to have at least 1 month of information that you can go back a month and see if they tried to find a job, if they were working, if they did some volunteer hours or something of that nature. In North Carolina, we want to make that 3 months. And that's going to be a severe administrative burden to Health and Human Services in the state of North Carolina to try to deal with that. Not only mentioning the people who are kind of in this field, needing this Medicaid, sometimes there's a sudden change in what happens to them. Sometimes it's with their health, because you have a lot of times it's people, women who are pregnant, children, people with disability, and then those who may be lower income. And so some of the situations may change so quick, they may not have 3 months. And so I think it's important to make sure that we're taking care of people. It's just the humanity of people being taken care of instead of trying to find ways not to take care of people. And it looks like those are the things that we're doing. There's also something in there that talks about pregnant women and children not being covered if they were not born here. Now, it doesn't say they're not being legal. They might have their green card. They might have done everything that they needed to do in order to become a citizen. They're trying to say that they should not be covered. And that's just downright cruel to me. So we're sitting and looking at this bill that we got within 20 minutes to vote on and was like, what? And then you had $1 million buried in there for the administrative person who runs the General Assembly. And we had our leader to ask, what is that for? No one could give us an answer. It has nothing to do with the Medicaid rebates bill. So there's a lot of things going on that is disheartening and concerning. Some of the things I'm working on, I've filed before, but I think it's important to file them again. Like when we think about our kids in school, we need to have nurses in every school. So I filed that for both Edgecombe and Pitt County to have nurses in every school. And I also know that earned income tax credit, it really helps families to get ahead and do some of the things they need to do. So I filed that. Something for workforce housing. We already know that we have a housing shortage in North Carolina. I mean, we have a housing shortage everywhere. But we need our police officers, our teachers, those critical people to be able to have housing and having something that's going to assist them so they can stay in our communities and keep us safe and teach our kids. Repealing the service tax. I filed something that gives money to, like we have some of our smaller communities, especially in Edgecombe. I have some of them, their tax base is not the same as it is in Pitt County. And so some of them need simple things like they might need a utility truck to take care of their people. Or the police department might need funds to make sure that they're being able to keep their community safe. So I've filed things like that for Pine Tops, for Macclesfield, because not everyone has the same ability for their property taxes or anything else to help take care of their counties. And so that's what the state is for, to be able to help with situations like that. And some of those are one-time funding, but it will give them an opportunity to take care of their community. Also, funds for the Boys and Girls Club. I know in Pitt County, I've been approached and they talked about the need to make sure that we are taking care of our youth within our community. And so making sure that I put something out there that's going to help take care of them because they are our future. And if we start now, then we might not have some of the issues later that we are fighting against so much. There's a number of other things that I support. The Momnibus bill, which is looking at maternal health for black women. We are dying at an alarming rate during childbirth and having issues. And so when we call Momnibus, it's a bill that has a lot of things included that all affect these women who are having babies and not having the type of care that they should have, not being heard, research not being done. And a lot of times they tell me they're not believed when they're in pain. Like I know we've heard stories about a woman about to, she went to the hospital, she thought she was ready to deliver, and they sent her home. 5 minutes later, she had the baby in a truck. And so she's someone who looks like me. So we're going to continue to file that Momnibus bill because it is taking care of its maternal health. One of the other bills for me is we have some small farmers in Pitt and Edgecombe County. And so I am introducing legislation that is going to assist those small farmers, help them out to a degree. Won't do every single thing, but we have to do something because when I have conversations, when I go and visit the farms, when I talk to them, they call me, they're struggling. And I think everybody now knows that we're in a drought. So you know what that does? That affects them. And I don't think we think about the farmers until we don't have the eggs and the bacon. And we don't have the vegetables that y'all sometimes say, I don't like to eat. But that's where our source of food comes from. And so we have to make sure that we're taking care of them as well. What we experienced for the long session, everything was tabled. We called it sent to the bill graveyard or cemetery. That's what happened. It was so unfortunate that every bill that was introduced by a Democrat was just sent to the graveyard and not heard. You can't tell me that one party alone feels like that they have all of the right answers and no one else can help. We have issues. And I don't care if it was the reverse and Democrats are doing it. You can't tell me. I think that we need to make sure that we're coming together. That's what the people want. They don't want one side. They want both sides to come together because that's great ideas from a lot of different people, a lot of different skill sets. And I think that we need to come together with these skill sets and make sure that these bills represent North Carolina like they should. I'm ready for the fight. We go back tomorrow in session and gonna do what I gotta do. It was something that was introduced that terms from one county, and these are the local bills. It's every 4 years right now. Well, this bill introduced will make the elections every 2 years. So the people who currently serve can only serve for 2 years. And then after those 2 years, it will go back to 4 years. Really? So I tell people when you look at bills, sometimes don't be fooled by the name because the name sounds like, woo, it's good and it's a lot going on. Anybody can go on and find a cute name. But when you look at what's in the bill, you got to watch for that. That's what we tell people. I think if I think about it, everybody's been talking about AI. We got AI. We got AI. Guess what? Go on to the General Assembly, go to the Senate or to the House, get a bill, copy all that, put it in AI and say, what does this bill do? What's the pros and cons of this bill? Why don't you just ask that? You'll see for yourself. You don't have to just take my word. You'll see for yourself. So I said, keep your eyes and ears open. We represent you. You are the ones who elected us. And you elect us every 2 years. And so it is not beneficial for us to try to hide anything from you. If we're trying to take care of you, why do we have to hide it? Transparency is key. I think it's important that people pay attention to what's taking place because it affects you. Right now, we're looking at affordability. Um, that really matters because gas prices making me want to ride a scooter. Um, and I think about whether I can afford it, someone else may not be able to. And that's sad for me. And even in the Medicaid bill, one of the things is they want to move the prices. Let's say they were able to get their medication for $4. They want to move it to the maximum. Now they would have to pay $34. And where you and I might look and say, well, $34 is nothing. It is something for someone who could barely afford the $4, who can't pay for their food and buy groceries and medicine at the same time. That's why sometimes people go without medicine because they have to eat. So it's the whole humanity of it. It's about taking care of people, taking care of North Carolinians. That's what it's about for me. And so I think that we can do better without trying to attack our own people. And I hear the excuse about illegals. It doesn't cover illegals in the first place. It covers those people who are legally here, those people who were born here, who are citizens here. That's what it covers. And so to go to the extra extremes, to put more work on our employees, our state employees that we're not even giving a raise to right now, that we've not even passed a budget for, it's now about 300 days with no budget. That's our one constitutional obligation. What is it? To pass a budget. We've not done that. That's not a good thing. I'll say that. I'm not proud of that at all, and I'm going to continue to fight. A bill was introduced by one of my peers that if we do not pass a budget, that we do not get paid until that budget is passed. I co-sign that because I think that's the right thing to do. I think things are happening that we never thought would happen. That's what I'll say. We never thought would happen. We felt like, I think we've felt like we've arrived. We've come this far. We can't be taken back now. But guess what? It looks like that's what's taking place. It's sad. It's disheartening because I was taught from an early age. Jesus said, take care of the least of these. And we talk about being Christians and loving the Lord and loving others. Well, we have to make sure that we are not just saying those words, but that we are living those words. We are living that through action. And when you guys send us your money, your taxes, and we allocate where they should go within the state, what's wrong with funding the food banks for those who can't afford? We can't live in a state and say, well, all of those who make this amount, those are the ones that we're going to take care of. Everybody else who makes anything lower, we don't care anything about them. That's not a good way to live. So taking care of the children, those who are disabled, women who are pregnant, those who work hard, but they don't have the income. I think it's important that we take care of them. So my fight is real. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I can't do it without you. But that's why I want to make sure people know who is Kandie Smith. What does she stand for? What does she fight for? I'm just a down-to-earth person. Try to make common sense decisions. Do the best that I can to communicate with the people. I wish I could just reach everybody with one phone call and say ring and everybody pick it up, say, what's up, Kandie? But since that's not happening, I have to find ways to reach out to you guys. And I tell people, call my office, reach out to my office. We respond. We try to assist. We try to help. I send out letters. When it comes to money that the state has that might belong to you, when I look at money that's like, let's say $100 or over, I send those letters out. I've had one person to call and say, is this real? It's like $6,000. Sir, get your money. I had someone else to reach out to me and said, I'm calling because I just got out of jail and it says I have a couple of $100 here and I want to know if this is real. Absolutely. This is your money. This is not our money. And so I do what I can to send those letters out. A lot of them bounce back because people move, but I still try it. I still try it because I want to make sure that we don't keep your money as a state, that you get your own money because we're in some trying times. and people need to survive. The only other thing I would say, I want to make sure that we understand, don't let people steal your joy, because sometimes we can be inundated with so much news, so much that's going on, that we lose hope. We don't need to ever lose hope. Because just think about our forefathers. They didn't lose hope, and they kept fighting. And then we got to where we are now. We see a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are trying to be rolled back, but you cannot lose hope. And when you don't lose hope, you stay in the fight. And so I think it's important for all of us to stay in the fight, because we have to work with each other, and love is the key.